Welcome to the Fantasy Football Locker Room here on the Fantasy Football Perspective, Episode 4, Season 1. BJ's our co-host. I'm your host, Lucas. How you doing, BJ?
Good today, man. I mean, we're missing Andy, but he's got some good locks today for us. He's at the Bengals game right now. Lucky bastard. Got tickets to the game, man. I'm happy for him. He's a big Bengals fan, man. So I hope they do good for him.
Yeah, that's a great Thursday night game. Bengals and Dolphins. Dolphins coming in 3-0 off the big win at the Buffalo Bills last week, and it's a close spread, high over under. You know, what's your feeling about tonight's game?
Man, I think the Bengals can do it, man. I think this is a must-win game in my head. I feel like for the Bengals, it is a must-win game. You know, what are they, 1-2? If they drop to 1-3, man, it's going to be very hard on them. I think Vegas has a -4, so they favored them to win. Mm-hmm. I think the Bengals can cover that, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. They
should do well. Wow, can't talk. I saw something funny on Twitter a little bit ago that I wanted to talk about. Someone was videotaping the Dolphins' plays and putting it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
But come to find out, the Dolphins were actually screwing with that guy. They were running all their plays with 12 men on the field.
Yeah, they had the
so it's a little cross analysis there. They're messing with me. We're going to mess with them. 12 men on the field. I didn't catch that at first, but I actually went back and watched the video. It's kind of funny. They did have.
Hey, their head coach, man, that's a slick move, dude. You know, that means he's always paying attention. He's always watching, man. That's something you need in a head coach, man.
And before we get going, it does kind of suck that Florida's going through what they have to be going through right now with the hurricane and stuff. Wish everyone the best. I'm glad the Dolphins got out of there and came up here and avoided that situation. And hopefully the majority of people got out of that situation if they could. And if not, we wish you guys the best. We hope everything's okay. Let's get into this episode. Give us a little speech and break it down for me. You had a pretty good week last week. I already complimented you. Now we'll get into that.
So, yeah, man, last week was the week I've been waiting for, man. So we finally had a great week. Got some great picks, man. I mean, I don't know. I know you had a pretty good week too, but I crushed it this past week, man. It was a very good week. Good feeling, dude. So I'm ready to have another good one.
Yeah, I ended up only losing like $22, and the majority of my covers this week is covered. So I'm not putting barely any money into it, which is just an excellent feeling, to be honest with you. If you're not digging into your bank account and you have 20 plus entries, that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And you knocked it out of the park. BJ, probably the call of the century with Matt Collins. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you watch this show, to get the 5.3 Matt Collins in your lineup. Broke the slate, 26 points at that price point, meaning you can adjust.
Nice receiver.
Yep, great receiver. You can put anybody you want into your lineup and fit him in. Just a great pick. Another great pick from the Fantasy Football Locker Room was the Bengals defense, second highest on the slate, 16 points at 3.6K. Two just outstanding picks. And if you played our lineup of the week last week, we cashed. You cashed. So if you played that was free money, double up. If you played $5, you won $9. That's good. That's free money if you just play our lineups. But yeah, overall good week. Sorry, I'm eating dinner a little quick right now.
Had a little long day at work, Luke.
A little long day at work.
I've been waiting on you for the past 2 hours, man.
I tried to hit the 5 o'clock deadline, but we have new people starting to work and have to be there. And I'm anabolic fasting right now for like the past 2 months, so I'm trying to fit my dinner in before my window closed. But if you ever fasted before, that stuff really works.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree about that. If you're looking into like a big diet tip there, man, I'm doing, starting out simple and like a 12, 14-hour fast and pushing up to, 16 as it gets easier as you progress through the thing. And, it's after you're done doing that for 2-3 weeks, I feel like you feel more energy, more focus.
More energy, and I just feel less sore. Like, I have psoriasis, so a lot of times my joints are, just sore from inflammation. And I feel like my inflammation's way down, and I'm really not watching what I eat, just the timing of it, which is kind of crazy. Something about your digestion system working less decreases the inflammation in your body. So if you battle something like that, give it a try. It's a really simple fix. But
we'll lead that into Andy's. That'll be Andy's fact of the day. We'll that right there.
Andy did have his fact of the day, though. I'll share that in a second.
Andy's fact. Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen real quick. Let me make sure that you can see it. And we're going to start off with Jim Stroker's recap of his blazing 5 picks last week. It was actually 4 picks. He had an off week, really bad beat in this Pittsburgh game here. And his first pick right here, and we'll highlight it for you, was the Steelers versus Browns under 39.5, buying 1.5 to get it to 41. And that was his first miss, unfortunately. The over-under was, he had it at 41. How many points did they score? Like 44.
40.
And that bullcrap touchdown at the end pushed him through when the Steelers are doing laterals and stuff.
Well, like I told Jim, I texted Jim in that group chat we got, man, at least he lost on like a field goal and it wasn't that bullcrap touchdown at the end, man. That would have really made me mad if that's how he lost it.
But he actually did lose it on there because he bought the 1.5 to bump it up a little bit. Yeah, so that last touchdown really, really screwed him. So, poor guy. So anyway, that was his first miss. He picked Coastal Carolina to cover minus 2.5. They did that. That was his hit of the week. Chattanooga, he picked a cover. I think the spread was 23. He was buying 1.5 to get it 24.5. Barely didn't cover, unfortunately. And then Virginia Tech, he had plus 3.5, buying the point to 4.5, and they just got mollywalked on their home field. West Virginia is a weird team. Sometimes they look great. Sometimes they look like they can't beat anybody.
That whole conference this year is weird, man.
It is. It's super, super weird. But you know what? The Big 12 has some damn good teams in it this year. And quality offense and defense. And they're going to have some problems. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if a team like Oklahoma lost 2 or 3 games. They already lost one over the weekend to Texas Tech. They still have to play like Oklahoma State, the Texas of the world, the TCUs of the world, the Baylors of the world. Those are all really, really good players. Or teams, excuse me. So, wouldn't surprise me there. Let's dig into our picks. We make one bet a week, me, BJ, and Andy. Jim's our betting guy. But between the 3 of the non-betting guys, we went 3-0.
Yeah.
In our picks of the week.
There.
Andrew picked Wake Forest plus 8. They covered by 6. Good job, Andrew. Great pick here by BJ. BJ picked Maryland plus 17. Very solid pick. Michigan's first actual test of the year, and they are who we think they are. If they play like that this weekend, they're going to get beat by Iowa. Calling that now.
Agree.
And my bet of the week was Deontay Johnson over 55.5 receiving yards. He damn near had that at halftime. So great picks all around. If you've been studying the board this week and find any other picks that you like.
Yeah, man. I'm just going to go ahead and say we talked about this, I think, in the first week when, or there was the second week when Notre Dame got beat after Maryland. We talked about how when there's a high-powered offense, especially the Buckeyes, the next week a team really looks just defeated, they deflated, like there's nothing, they just don't look right. Mm-hmm. So this week I'm going on a big call right here, and I'm not going to take the points. I'm going to take the money line, and I'm taking Illinois over Wisconsin this week.
Illinois over Wisconsin. I really, really like that. My pick is actually another receiver over. I'm taking T. Higgins tonight over 66 receiving yards. Xavier Howard's going to be on Jamar Chase, following him around. Joe Burrow doesn't seem like the guy who's going to just keep forcing it. He's going to hit who's open. If no one's open, he's taking a sack, unfortunately, this year. So give me T. Higgins. I think he has somewhere between 80 and 100 yards. That's my bet. And did Angie send a bet over? Bet of the week?
Yeah, he did on the chat over there. Let's see what his was. Did he send more?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Not sure if it's... I know his touchdown call was...
I got his touchdown call. Oh, here it is. Saints and Vikings. He is taking the under 44 points. Saints offense is a mess. They're both traveling across the world to London this week. Early game, 9:30 start. I love 9:30 starts on Sundays, man. Football as soon as you wake up the whole day. So there you go. Saints, Vikings, under 44. And why don't I just go ahead and dig in and tell you guys Jim Stroker's blazing picks of the week. He's giving you 2 picks this week, both occurring tonight. He likes picking the Thursday night games and getting those out to you as soon as possible, a little later than usual. But he likes Utah State plus 25.5, buy a point, get it to 26.5. And he likes the Bengals minus 3, buy a point, get them to 4. And he's saying they win big tonight. Yeah. Bengals big.
Big lock tonight.
Absolute a lock tonight is what Jim Stroker says. Blazing 5 again, that's Utah State plus 26.5 after you buy a point, and Bengals minus 4 after you buy a point. Bet the games and win some money, ladies and gentlemen. Those are Jim Stroker's picks of the week. Moving on, let's recap our touchdown calls of the week, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We all got screwed. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So, Andrew picks Kyle Pitts, has the best game of this year so far. Wide open on like an 80-yard touchdown pass. Mariota overthrows him. I'm talking walk-in touchdown. Overthrow. T. Higgins, that's a snapshot touchdown.
Come on.
His toe is up. His heel is not touching.
Let me show the audience this picture real quick.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Let me find this. Nick sent it to us.
Boost you up real quick.
You keep on going, Paul. I'm going to show him this picture.
All right. And mine was Amon-Ra St. Brown. He got hurt, but there was a play in the first quarter where he dove towards the end zone. I don't know the rules. He dove from probably the 5-yard line, didn't touch out of bounds, and crossed the plane, and they didn't give him a touchdown. So I don't know.
Did they call that?
No, they didn't call it a touchdown. So they put him down at like the half-yard line.
Yeah. Look at those toes.
Look at those toes. Look at the green. You can see green between his cleats. Like, what are they looking at?
That's a touchdown.
That's,
so I got that one. I called that.
You didn't get it. We all got it technically if you were doing that because we all had good weeks. Luckily, all three of those players had pretty good weeks. If you had those guys in your lineups, very good job for listening, and we doing well. Jim Stroker on the year, 8-4. So if you're betting $100 a game on Jim Stroker's bets of the week, you are up $400. Remember that, guys. You're up $400 betting $100 just on Jim's free picks of the week. And that's a recap of last week. And as always, we're transferring into this new week, and it starts off with Andy's stat of the week. And for the first time on the Fantasy Football Locker Room, Andy's stat of the week is actually football related, which kind of threw me off a little bit. So let me bring us up real quick.
Andy's got it. I'm excited to hear this one.
Jalen Hurts has more yards than 22 other teams in the NFL through 3 weeks. Jalen Hurts himself between passing and throwing.
He ain't even QB1 either. Mm-hmm. That's what's crazy.
Here's another crazy stat that threw me off. The top 5 fantasy football quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson's number 1, and Lamar Jackson would be number 5 if you take away his rushing. So Lamar Jackson gets all the credit for runs and runs and runs, but if you made him a in-the-pocket QB this year, he is the 5th ranked QB. That's how much he's progressed in passing this year. That's insane. You think of Lamar, you think of Jalen, you think of these guys as pure running quarterbacks that are going to get you fantasy points, and they're doing it with their arm. It's crazy. The runs are becoming cherries on top, and it's literally crazy. I'm super, super impressed with the steps they took. I will go ahead and say it right here, completely wrong on Jalen Hurts. He looks great. Surround him with weapons. He looks great. They're not asking him to do too much. And something I really like about him is if something's not open, he just takes off. And he doesn't force anything. He's just trying to get positive yards. He doesn't take that many sacks, and I like that about him a lot. And they have weapons, big-time weapons. BJ, how you feel about doing the honors today, the over-unders? I don't believe the London game's not on the slate. Starts at 1 o'clock with the Chargers and Texans. Have at it.
Yeah, man, the Chargers is 44.
I can't hear you, brother.
Can you hear that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, yeah, they got Chargers at 44. Go down there. That Giants and Bears game's at 39.5.
Ooh, big time.
Seattle, Detroit, 48. We got Jaguars, Eagles, 45.5. We got New York Jets, Pittsburgh, 41.5. Browns, Falcons, 47.5. That's kind of surprising how high that over is.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, Indianapolis, we got 43. Go down there to Cowboys and the Commanders, 41.5. Bills, Ravens, 51, where it should be. Watch out for weather on that game. Cardinals, Panthers, 43.5. We got Denver, Raiders, 45.5. New England Patriots, Green Bay Packers, 40.5. And then is that a night game?
That's a night game. Yep, so there you are. So we only have one game over 50, it looks like, and it's weather dependent. So you have a lot of even stacked games this week, which I kind of like because you can really don't have to focus. That means the wealth is going to be spread amongst the fantasy football community. If you guys are new to the channel, we go through Fanduel here. BJ is our wide receiver expert of the week. Andrew is our running back expert of the week, and I kind of control the QBs, tight ends, and defense. As I said at the beginning of the episode, we cashed last week on our lineup of the week, so I highly suggest just playing this lineup, throwing it in, put your $5 on. I think we are about
also,
set.
We had two guys that was in the $1 million prize last week. We picked.
We're getting close. We're getting closer and closer and closer. But take us away, man. Who are some of your wide receiver plays of the week?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna start off here, and he's not my favorite, but he's my second favorite, and I'm gonna start off with Christian Kirk, man. This guy, me and Polley made a joke, before the season we were talking, and I brung up, I was like, watch it be Christian Kirk, that random stray wide receiver that, enters the top 10, top 5, and here he is. I think he's sitting at wide receiver 7 or 6 right now.
6.
Everyone laughed about him before the season, how they couldn't believe that, Jaguars signed him, but I'm telling you, man, my big prediction was Trevor Lawrence going to take a big leap. And with your quarterback can play as well as he's playing, your receivers are definitely going to benefit from that. Mm-hmm. But moving on to my favorite play of the week that he will probably be in every lineup I have, it's CeeDee Lamb, man. Look down there. He is 6,800, man. He's behind the likes of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. That is crazy to me. His target share is insane. I think he's had, 12 targets, 11 targets, 11 targets. You give him a touchdown in any of those games like he had last game, he's going to get you 18 to 20, maybe even higher fantasy points, and I really like him against Washington. That's my guy. Looking down there a little bit more, I really, really like Drake London, man.
It's my favorite play of the week.
He's one of my favorite plays.
That's my touchdown call of the week, boys. Drake London.
Him and Kyle Pitts. I personally, though, I'm favoring Kyle Pitts this week. I am. I sat there and I debated about it. I think Kyle Pitts has a good game, but I also think it's very viable to play both of these guys because they're both seeing 7 to 10 targets a game apiece. Another thing we talked about looking down there is I feel like there's going to be a Packers wide receiver that's going to end up on this slate. If it's Romeo Doubs, Allen Lazard, look out for a cheap play and Robert Tonyan. I feel like one of those guys I think it's going to be hard to pick. I like Allen Lazard just because of his touchdown upside. And I think, Romeo Doubs was fed last week. I think they're going to try to work in Allen Lazard a little bit more as the season progresses because they're taking their time. He missed a little practice, but he
scored a touchdown in both games he's played.
Yeah, so his touchdown upside is insane. And then looking down here, another Packers guy that I think people are sleeping on. He's really cheap, man, and that will be Randall Cobb, man. Last week I watched a little bit of their game, and he was being targeted a decent amount, man. He had a couple big runs, but he just didn't get the touchdown. He had 2 targets last game or whatever, but those 2 receptions came at 57 yards. He's a big boom guy.
How much is he?
Price, he's 5,200.
Overlooking him.
Randall Cobb.
There he is.
Yeah, man, just sitting there at you want those boom kind of guys that can really help you out in it. And if you keep your eyes open for Allen Lazard or whoever else is missing time this week, he could be a good play. Also, I was looking down there, just trying to find a guy that is very cheap, kind of like the Mac Hollins last week. And one of my favorite plays this week at quarterback is Jalen Hurts. Now, I don't know what's going on with Devonta Smith or anything, but I think I'm going to have a few of my lineups stacked with Quez Watkins.
Just
very cheap guy, deep threat. I think we talked about this, how a lot of teams are going to have to double A.J. Brown. Mm-hmm. And then once you double him, just like in the Minnesota game, you've seen a deep ball get sent off, and he, scored what did he have, Paul? Let me look at that. What did he have as that one game? 13 fantasy points. If this guy gives you 13 to 15 fantasy points, he will be in the winning lineup. I promise you that. And he may be very low owned, so he might be a guy I play a couple times with Jalen Hurts just for that, it factor of 50,000 or 5,000. So, and you can't mistake. And I think a lot of people are going to be on Stephon Diggs sitting there, but I really think that weather is going to be.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the weather. I think it's going to be crappy. I mean, of course, you're going to have to play a couple Lamar Andrews lineup and a couple Josh Allen Diggs.
Yep. Sure.
just because they have, I mean, that's potential to break the slate, like Andrews Lamar last week. If you didn't have that stack, I mean, you probably weren't cashing. Luckily, I played it everywhere. The receiver that we're going to add in the flex today, though, is by far the cheapest this guy will be all year. I've already talked about it over and over again. Zach Wilson's favorite target, and he's back. The favorite target for Zach Wilson in training camp through everything that made him the biggest, one of the biggest targets for most fantasy football analysts this offseason. Elijah Moore, 5,500 versus Pittsburgh. We're to a point now where defenses are probably going to shift towards Garrett Wilson. That means you're going to have Elijah Moore 101 with Pittsburgh's 25th ranked pass defense.
Yeah.
If
Wilson being this good, Polley, is really, really going to open up the Jets' offense.
Exactly.
I thought he was going to be. I thought Garrett Wilson. I mean, we watched him at Ohio State. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think before it's all said and done, Garrett Wilson will be their number one guy. He will be a superstar. Mm-hmm. But I think now that teams are seeing that, Elijah Moore's being slept on. So I think this is a smash pick, man. I love it.
It's so easy. He's so cheap. You can fit anyone into your lineup after that. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug in Andrew's favorite 2 running backs because we saved some money here. And he likes the Saquon Eckler train. And that's who he's high on. Let me tell you his 6 favorite running backs. Those are his favorite 2. And after that, he likes Najee Harris. He likes Rashad Penny. He likes Singletary. And he likes Jamal Williams. Those are his 6 favorite. I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. He might actually like Najee Harris more than Eckler. Now I'm looking at this. We're going to plug Najee Harris in instead because I don't want to. I want to be exact. Yep, so you save a little bit of money. Both have excellent matchups this week. If they don't smash in these, you should start getting a little worried. BJ and I were talking about, Austin Eckler's season. I don't think people realize that he only has 80 yards rushing this year, 0 touchdowns, and he's still running back 13 on the year in fantasy football. This guy has the absolute highest floor in the NFL when it comes to fantasy football. It's insane. If you add just any amount of touchdowns into his stat line, he's a top 5 running back.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, it's crazy. The Chargers don't have a 15-yard rush this season. Watch out, man. Touchdowns are going to come. The Chargers' offense is way too damn good. They're going to get to the red zone. Watch out, man. He could break some slates down the road at some point when everyone's sleeping on him. Some other things to watch out for. Christian made of glass McCaffrey out this week again, probably. Chuba Hubbard getting that look. Khalil Herbert might get the play. He looked excellent last week for the Bears.
Led the slate in running backs last week, man.
DeAndre Swift out. Jamal Williams is going to be a very popular pick. And I told you this too. I kind of have 2 touchdown calls of the week. Rashad Penny's going to hit the end zone this week. He's been slept on all week, all year. Has been doing absolutely horrible. He goes against the Lions defense, the 32nd ranked defense. And again, it's one of those things. If he doesn't perform well against the Lions defense, might as well kiss his fantasy stats goodbye because he's not touching another one of my lineups. You have anything to add to that before I move on?
Yeah, man.
I like Singletary as well. I'm sorry.
Singletary. I really like Javonte Williams. I love him. I think he is so good, man, but he just hasn't got the touches. Mm-hmm. And I seen Melvin Gordon was a questionable there, but I think that they're going to try this game. There's got to be one game this season at least where Javonte Williams has a good game, man. There has to be one game where he has a good game, and I think this right here is a perfect setup for Javonte Williams. Not a breakout, because I personally don't think this will be his breakout season until Melvin's officially gone. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting there looking at him playing the Raiders, and I think Javonte's going to have a good game, man. My favorite QB play of the week is actually Russell Wilson. Everyone's sleeping on him. He's super cheap. But with our roster construction, we can't fit any of those guys in here. I like Mariota, man, honestly, too, as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. But I'll let you handle that situation, brother.
But I think we might go Mariota this week. Well, I want to stack somebody with these guys. Who do you think I should stack?
Trevor Lawrence has looked dynamite, and he's, 7,500? How much we got sitting there?
Trevor Lawrence has looked dynamite. 25, 18, 14.
Yeah.
Getting better each week. Let's go ahead and make a Lawrence lineup.
Yeah, I like it.
And then we'll go ahead and pick our defense. I think with defenses this week, you have 3 options, in my opinion. Packers against New England's backup QB. Viable option, most expensive on the slate. Dallas at Washington. There's no way that they don't get 10 sacks, dude, because
Carson Wentz has been looking like Carson Wentz, too.
Well, the offensive line for Washington's horrible, and Dallas ruins game plans, man.
Yeah.
Then if you really, really want to save some money, the Arizona Cardinals versus crappy-ass Baker Mayfield, you can save some money down there, and they're projected, I was seeing, like 9 to 10 points, which is kind of crazy for 3,200. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Any one of those guys, it really depends on how much money we have left. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in a tight end first. So my favorite tight ends this week, Andrews, Pitts, Njoku, Ertz. And if you're feeling a little tight on money, I like Tanyan and I like Will Dissly. It just really depends on how much money you have left. So I think we need a little bit of exposure to Njoku just to get the other side of that Atlanta game. I think that has a chance to be high scoring. He has an injury destination now. He didn't practice, but a lot of people don't practice on Thursdays now.
Yeah.
And how much money does that leave us? It leaves us $5,500. We're here. I think we go.
Who to plug in? Oh, we already got Elijah Moore sitting there, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We might as well go. We might as well go full on defense, man.
We might as well go Packers.
Yeah.
And then let's take a quick look at this and make sure we could always go up at QB if you wanted to. Because Herbert's sitting there. You like Herbert? You like Kyler?
I think he's healthy, but my favorite play of the week is Jalen Hurts, man. I don't know if we can get him, but I don't think we can get him, can we?
I think we can make it work, probably.
I just don't. I mean, where can we go from there?
Go here. Pick a cheap. Let's go Dallas here. We got 5,400 for a tight end. You said you liked.
Looking at T.J. Hawkinson might be a good play, man.
Mm-hmm. If Amon-Ra's not playing.
They're going to have Amon-Ra. I think I seen DJ Chark, questionable. Could be good. Or we could just roll Tyler Conklin and see what he does.
He's been killing it, man. I just don't want 2 Jets.
Yeah, I do agree. I don't either.
Or where's he at? How much is he? No, he's too expensive. Let's do this.
Like I said too, I like Robert Tonyan, man. His target share has been going way up. He's very cheap.
Now we can go all the way up to. Now we can go all the way up to Goddard.
Ooh, there we go.
And we still have 700 left. There you go.
How much can you go for a defense now? Can you get to another defense that I like is I like the Colts, man, against Tennessee. Honestly,
I like that too. Let's go ahead and plug that in. I also like the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings.
But they're not on here. Let's go Colts, dude.
Yeah, I like it. I think they're getting one of their defenders back, Shaquille or whatever his name is.
Who?
Their defensive back. He's been out. I think he's coming back.
There you go.
That looks juicy.
Yeah, there's our lineup of the week. Who's your touchdown call of the week?
I'm gonna go CD Lamb, man.
So
I'll have to go CD Lamb, my favorite receiver this week, and he gets a touchdown.
BJ's going CD Lamb. Andrew's going Davante Adams. He says, no way they don't force feed Davante Adams 100 balls, which is probably quite possible. Yeah. And I'm giving you 2 touchdown calls of the week. I have Drake London, Rashad Penny for my official against the record. I think Rashad Penny scores a touchdown. That's my official. But a little sneaky play is Drake London as well.
Yeah.
Well, man.
That's a good lineup, man. How much we got left over money-wise?
Like 400.
That's pretty good. That's like we said, if you keep some money left over, that makes it a little bit more unique than normal.
I think we have a lot of touchdown upside right here.
We definitely do.
But anything else you want to say to the crowd before I upload this video?
Nah, man. I know me and you are brownies, but we have a bunch of Bengals fans. I think listen to us, so we might as well give them a who day tonight.
A little who day.
One time for Ohio, man.
Yep. If the Bengals are on, the Browns aren't. I definitely like watching the Bengals. I mean, they have in my opinion, Ohio State quarterback still. I know he went off and succeeded, but he's an Ohio guy. Went to Ohio State. He left because let's just face it, there's better people here at that point.
Yep.
And he was great when he left, but he's always an Ohio State QB in my eyes.
Yep.
Not to piss off any of you LSU fans, but he doesn't claim you guys.
Yeah.
Just saying. Said it himself. He's
he
a Buckeye.
Buckeye, man. That's all I'm saying. He graduated.
I saw him at the Ohio State home opener. I didn't see him at LSU's home opener. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I think Houday takes care of business tonight. What do you think?
I think so too. I think if I think they cover the spread. Jim thinks they smash the spread, and Jim's hard to. I can't. When Jim says something, man, about betting, dude, we'll be sitting there talking to him, and he brings up a point in my head. I'm about to say it, and then he says something opposite. I'm like, okay, I gotta go that way.
Yep, he definitely tips it.
Yeah, that dude does his shit.
If you guys are on TikTok, follow my TikTok at FF Perspective. I make a video almost every day. It's kind of blowing up a little bit. Started with 0 followers 2 weeks ago. I'm up to about 60 now. I really enjoy it. It's quick, fun, easy. BJ's my #1 supporter on there. I'm always trying to get him to like and comment.
I'll be liking
push up those videos.
Watch the video. If you guys can, watch that video 3 times.
Watch that video, drop a comment, drop a like, and it gets me on the homepage and just shoots me up, man. I really love it. Thanks for all the support. Make sure you guys like this video. That gets us on YouTube's homepage. We had 325 views last time. We appreciate that, guys. We really do. We're going to keep producing this content, and when we see those numbers, I know it keeps bringing me back, so I'm sure it brings BJ back as well. As always, thanks for joining us. This is the Fantasy Football Locker Room, Episode 4, Season 1. Houday.
Houday.